step. I do not say that, and we've been listening from all our Supreme Court reporters as well, that this is not a clean chit yet, because still Sebi has 3 months time to complete the last 2 probes. But so far as far, whatever the verdict has come out is definitely reassuring for all the investors.
Right. Sakshi, stay on with us. Srishti Oja is also joining us. She's outside the Supreme Court right now. Srishti, I believe you have one of the petitioners with you. Go ahead.
Well, yes, we are joined by Advocate Vishal Tiwari, who I should tell you was the petitioner in this case. He had filed a plea seeking court-monitored probe into the entire Adani Hindenburg issue. So how do you see today's verdict? The court has clearly said that there's no room to question Sebi's investigation.
See, as it is concerned to my petition and my prayer, the judicial committee was constituted, and that judicial committee submitted its report and also suggested some recommendations. So today Supreme Court has directed the government that those recommendations shall be considered and some necessary steps may be taken by the respondents. And if these recommendations will be implemented, then definitely we are sure that regulatory mechanism will be more strengthened in the future, and investors' money will remain safe in the share market. So today's judgment is a very landmark judgment, and if we see these recommendations, then it is a positive judgment.
Sir, do you see this order as a setback for the petitioners, because you had filed a contempt petition also before Supreme Court against Sebi?
It cannot be said a setback, because our contempt petition was clear that Sebi has not concluded its investigations within the time frame manner which Supreme Court has given to it. So upon that, Supreme Court has said we are granting 3 months more to conclude the 2 investigations, and Sebi shall conclude them. So contempt petitions or the contempt prayer was not dismissed, but a 3 months extension has been given.
What about the transfer of investigations? The court has clearly said they don't need to transfer the investigation from Sebi to any other SIT or CBI. How do you see that remark?
See, there was no request from my side to transfer the investigation from Sebi. However, some other petitioners or petitions, they were requesting. So Supreme Court has said that we have power to transfer, but in the present circumstances, we do not see any ground, any concrete ground to transfer the investigation from Sebi to some other agency.
Thank you so much for speaking to India Today, sir. That was Advocate Vishal Tiwari. As we said, he's the petitioner in this case. They were seeking a court-monitored probe. The Supreme Court has today very clearly said that there's no doubt of questioning the fairness of Sebi's investigation into the Adani Hindenburg case. Last year, court had directed Sebi to continue its investigation into to conduct an extensive investigation. In fact, had also constituted a 6-member expert committee.
Right.
Later on, some of the petitioners had questioned Sebi's investigation and the delay in that investigation. But today, the court has clearly said that there's no doubt to question that investigation. The impartiality of the members of the expert committee can also not be questioned. And Hindenburg or any other report does not create a valid ground for the court to transfer the investigation from Sebi to SIT or any other agency.
Right. And a verdict that Gautam Adani himself now has hailed. Sakshi and Srishti, thank you so much for joining us with all of those details. But we've got more news that's coming in concerning that verdict from the Supreme Court. The Congress now has slammed Sebi's probe in the Adani case. Manish Tiwari, Congress Member of Parliament, has said the fundamental fact remains that the Hindenburg report came into the public domain exactly 1 year ago. And since 1 year, Sebi has been dragging its feet on the allegations made in the Hindenburg report. If on a matter as sensitive as this, it takes 1 year to even complete an investigation, it just goes to show how lackadaisical the attitude of Sebi is. If Sebi wanted, it could have completed the investigation a long time back, and we repeatedly raised this matter even in the Parliamentary Standing Committee of Finance. Manish Tiwari, they're saying that the Sebi probe has been delayed and Sebi has been dragging its feet. Listen in.
The fundamental fact remains that the Hindenburg report came into the public domain exactly 1 year ago. And since 1 year, the Securities and Exchange Board of India, which is charged with the remit of superintending India's capital markets, has been dragging its feet on the on the allegations made in the Hindenburg report. So therefore, if on a matter as sensitive as this, which has agitated not only Parliament, but people across the length and breadth of the country, if not the world, it takes 1 year to even complete an investigation, it just goes to show as to how lackadaisical the attitude of the Securities and Exchange Board of India is. The fact remains that the Securities and Exchange Board of India, if it wanted, it could have completed the investigation a long time back. And we repeatedly raised this matter even in the Parliamentary Standing Committee of
More news that's coming in right now. Union Minister Anurag Thakur's scathing attack on Arvind Kejriwal. Anurag Thakur says that those people who used to cry for honesty before coming into politics are the most corrupt today. Their big leaders are in jail and even the Chief Minister does not want to go before the agency. It seems that their entire pulse is black. So the BJP there taking pot shots at Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal after Kejriwal decided to skip the third summons issued to him by the Enforcement Directorate. Listen in to Anurag Thakur.
जो लोग राजनीति में आने से पहले ईमानदारी की दुहाई देते थे, आज सबसे बड़ी बेईमान पार्टी आम आदमी पार्टी बनी है, जिनके एक नहीं अनेक मंत्री जेल में है, उप मुख्यमंत्री जेल में है। अब मुख्यमंत्री भ्रष्टाचार के मामले में ईडी के समन को बार बार नकार के हाजिर नहीं हो रहे हैं। इससे स्पष्ट दिखता है कि कहीं ना कहीं दाल में कुछ काला है, यहाँ तो पूरी दाल ही काली नजर आती है।
So that is, of course, the BJP taking pot shots at Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal. Remember, Arvind Kejriwal had been issued a summons to appear before the Enforcement Directorate today in the Liquorgate case. He replied to the Enforcement Directorate that he is willing to cooperate with any investigation, but this seems to be politically motivated. The summons have been issued to him so that they can arrest him and stop him from campaigning in the Lok Sabha elections. He called the summons illegal, the third time that the Delhi Chief Minister has skipped summons issued by the Enforcement Directorate, first on November 2nd, then on December 21st, and now on January 3rd.